That be the one. Yeah,
Break and finish live. Kindly confirm that audio is now reaching you. Once again, good evening, dear viewers. This one is the fifth match of this tournament. And now it is the sixth match of the tournament, but second last overall. Two of Uganda's best Heyball players, Amos Ndiagumanawi and Cesar Chandiga, are facing off in the last semi-final. The winner does take on the defending champion in Ibrahim Kayanja in the final that will be happening in about an hour's time or less. Amos, the guy that is cladly smart, donning in official Heyball umpire attire, one of the very first Ugandans, if not the very first ever to play Heyball and ever to participate in the World Heyball Championships, is leading 1-0, courtesy of 3 foul breaks from Cesar. That is how Amos is leading. Be mindful that by the rules, 3 foul breaks, whether in succession or not, whether in the same frame or not, as long as it is in the same match, will tantamount to a loss of frame. In Heyball, it is called the loss of rack for the victim, who is the player. Amos 1 and Cesar 0. Once again, race to 5 for a place in the final to take on Ibrahim Kayanja. And yes, this match is being streamed live on 2 platforms. Facebook stream is on Break and Finish Live. YouTube stream is on Peter Chobe Live. And feel free to watch from a platform of your preference. We can start with a discussion in the comment section on who of the 2 players you are supporting. Comment section, just tell me who of the 2 players you are supporting. Could be Amos, could be Cesar. At one time, Amos, one of the most popular players in Uganda, he has come a little bit shy of late. He's trying to rejuvenate his career. That was without a shadow of a doubt about 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. One of the most shining prospects of Ugandan pool, if not the most shining, and yet he has come short of late, most especially with the onset of COVID. So a demise of his career. Nowadays, he's trying to rejuvenate it. Just signed a deal to join Scrap Players Pool Club and is doing relatively okay. We look forward to seeing him trying to be the Amos that used to be arguably Uganda's best player, most especially in the years in between 2000 and maybe 11-12 up to 2000 around 16. Not in terms of official competition, but in terms of public opinion. Here he is with a chance. Remember, when it's a foul, it is a loss of turn, loss of chance, loss of turn. The player who fouls simply loses the turn. If they played their own ball first, then the incoming player can play from position of the white ball or is free to lift the white ball to any position near the table. That is, if they did not play their own ball first. They'll probably want to put both 14 and the 8 ball to the same corner pocket. Right ball around the 8. That is beautiful. As long as they can sink the 8 in, which he definitely will, in my opinion. Not definitely. He will be going 2-0 up. Yes, he is. He's taking the match pretty seriously. He knows that if he wins this match, it will be a big statement of his intentions in Uganda in 8 ball. And yes, Amos leads 2-0. Once again, it is a race to 5. If Amos wins, we shall have a repeat of last week's final, which was played between him and Ibrahim Kayanja, with Kayanja winning on a decider. If Cesar wins, then it will be the defending champion Ibrahim Kayanja to take on Cesar in the final. Welcome to Break and Finish Live. Welcome to Peter Chobe Live. Track Sporter supporting Amos all the way from South Africa. Thank you for watching. Peterson Katerega supporting Cesar. Julius Bijik says he supports Boss. Ranyembe Jr. says you support Amos. Pius Omega supports Cesar. Gomi says Yohano, you're supporting Sajemba, but he's not playing today. Hassan Keita, you are supporting Cesar from YouTube. Biarahanga Solomon Chester supporting Amos all the way. I don't know where. Bagenda Baker, you are watching from Kitwe, Zambia. Thank you for watching. Chilum Denda, sounds like a Zambian name, supporting Cesar. Yes. Nemutudi Makwera says Cesar will be back. Jose Njuguna. I don't know. Tetanim Veliso, you are watching from South Africa and you are supporting the new guy. You're calling him a new guy. Cesar is way more new to the scene of the game in comparison to Amos. Amos was a player on the Uganda national team as early as 2014, 11 years ago. He's one of the players that made the national team, that made it to the All Africa Pool Championships in Dar es Salaam that year. And by the time you make it to the national team, you've played for some time. So he's way more experienced than Cesar. But of course, for the last 2, 3, 4 years, Cesar has been way ahead of Amos. Amos is simply trying to rejuvenate his best form here. He's a former Ugandan champion, did win the national championships in 2015, has won a number of big titles with teams, with the Samana Pool team. He has also traveled around in different countries playing pool. He started playing pool way before Cesar, and he was the first Ugandan ever to play in the World Heyball Championships in the year 2019 in Shanghai, China. Nowadays, Cesar has kind of made the Heyball, from a Ugandan perspective, a discipline of his own, and these players have a chance to try and show him what they are made of, most especially with the start of weekly comps in Heyball. We are at Polo City Arena, Waisa Trading Center, Kampala City, Uganda. Amos seemingly going for a third. It will be a third in a row. He's a guy that really has a lot of respect for Heyball. When you have your Heyball attire at home and you are simply waiting for a chance to play Heyball and you dress in your full attire, that means you are taking the sport quite serious. And yes, here is the guy you can have as your own if you are a management team, if you are a guy who loves to be a manager. There is Amos. He gets to scratch, puts the cue ball advantage. Cesar can place now the white ball anywhere on the pool table. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 solids, and then the black. All of them positioned in a perfect space. The 2 is done. Now the 7, there is a 1, the yellow ball to the center pocket on the right. There is a 6, the green ball is going for the 1 first, has to be on target. He's not on target. He gets lucky, putting it to the pocket. He did not intend raising the hand in acceptance of the fact that he needed a little bit of luck to have that one in. That won't matter. He's just as quick as that already onto the 8 ball, which he will want to roll to the corner pocket closest to the bottom of your screen on the right. Shoots and puts, yes, he wins the first one. It is Cesar 1 and Amos 2, rest to 5. That is a foul on the break by Amos. Remember, for the men, it has to be 4 balls crossing the head string or 4 balls being potted, whichever. 2 balls crossing the head string and 2 being potted, 1 ball being potted, 3 crossing the head string, any kind of thing, as long as it is 4 points and each point from either potting a ball or having a ball cross the head string, the line behind which the players break. Remember, the first frame of the match was won by Amos, courtesy of 3 consecutive foul breaks by Cesar. That's why Amos is taking all his time to ensure that the rack is as tight as possible, simply to give him the best chance to have the balls spread as much as possible. The more they spread, the more likely that they move towards the top end of the table. And these guys have the rack, some the equipment that some of you call the triangle, but they do prefer racking the balls using free hand for whatever reason. Second break by Amos, has to hit as hard as possible. Aims for the 14, hits it hard. One ball is spotted. It seems to have crossed. And the break was so quick, I'm not so certain. Since there is agreement from actually 2 balls are potted, it's a very, very, very valid break. Very good break, very good break. He survives, but remember, he is on 1 foul break and it remains counting. The foul breaks remain recurring. When you go you foul on the break, it doesn't go in vain. It follows you up to the end of the match. That's one of the better breaks, the one Amos has just done, that I have seen in this whole tournament today. Because these guys are really struggling with the break. You may have all the playing skill, but for Heyball, you really need to master the break. When I am watching the World Heyball Championships, those Chinese, I like to say that they hit the second ball and they spin the white ball on the break backwards. It moves also behind the head string, the white ball. And it is very rare when they are breaking to have a foul break. Cesar is playing with a lot of power today. This table, the Heyball table, is for perfectionists. You have to have your ball clearly on target, no contact between the jaw of the pockets and the ball. Such targets like Amos just did, so much on target that right ball being straight to the center pocket, followed the object ball all the way up to the same center pocket's chance for Cesar to win, a second chance for the Scorpion to equalize here. He's playing the solids. There is the 1, the 2, the 6, the 7, and of course the 8. He has good white for the 2, and the blue ball which you want to put to the center pocket on the right. We will decide to start with the 7 first. Change of mindset, starting with the 2. With the top spin, white ball bouncing off the cushion to give him pretty much accurate ball for the 7. This time he decides not to go for power. He's having the 6, which he'll want to put to the corner pocket on the top left. White ball needs to move towards the bottom end of the table where the 8 is, which is the winning ball, which he puts, if he puts. Looks like a miss, which could be a very terrible miss for Cesar. Advantage Amos. Cesar came so close to making it 2-2. Now it is so close for Amos, making it 3-1. That is how this sport can be really determined by very, very, very fine margins. The 13 is the most crucial shot for Amos. He must pot it. He goes for lead to power. He doesn't pot, actually he pots, and I believe as much as he believes, as much as the fans at the venue believe, just as much as those who are watching online believe, that frame number 4 is going the way of Amos. That was quite precise. Actually, he's playing like a guy that is indeed having so much experience playing on the Heyball table. There he is, leading 3-1 in the last semi-final. Rest of 5, meaning Cesar needs 4, while Amos needs 2 of the remaining 5 frames. 3-1, Amos up. Cesar is in danger. And while Amos has historically been one of Uganda's better players on the pool tables, in terms of the results that he has been garnering of late, if he wins this match, then it will be one of the very best results he will have gotten in the last 3, 4, 5 years. And yes, Heyball is a sport originally in China. The idea of having these comps is to improve the skills of these players, trying to improve in the billiards discipline, which is the most rewarding of any Q sports competition anywhere in the world. No tournament on the face of the earth even comes closer to what the World Heyball Championships does offer. And for guys like this, for African players to be specific, the region that belongs to the third world, even if these guys went to the World Heyball Championships and finished, for instance, in the round of last 16, where the prize is just about $10,000 US, that money can mean a very big difference to the rest of the players' lives if well invested. It's actually enough for a plot of land outside the city, not in the city, but outside the city, and on the same money, a small bungalow, 2-3 bedrooms, and the guy is a different person altogether. Enough money to start a business which can have the player and their family live relatively happier for the rest of their lives. And such kind of money is not seen anywhere in other Q sports disciplines, even those that reward as much as 9-ball or 10-ball or snooker. The crazy prizes that exist in Heyball, you don't see them there. That's why it is only relevant that these guys start playing Heyball competitively. And yes, it's being streamed live on the internet to share our progress and our shortfalls in the sport with the rest of the world, simply to identify with everybody else. Now, this guy that is playing was the very first Ugandan to play at a competitive level Heyball himself, and Hazard did qualify for the World Heyball Championships in Shanghai 2019. Since then, Amos has made Heyball one of his better disciplines. Actually, he was once being managed by Jim Cush, who was the Heyball representative for East Africa, together with his Kenyan compatriot Peter Kinyoa. They are also distributing Heyball tables in East Africa, that is Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. Indeed, we had the first Heyball table in Uganda, courtesy of the pair, when it was introduced at Upper Volta in Kampala, just before COVID, of course, with the onset of COVID and the fact that there was no business, and yet it consumes too much space, which is also very damaging financially. That's why that table existed no more and was since taken back to Nairobi. But for now, here at City Pool Arena, the owner has actually more than one Heyball table. But because Heyball is not yet so popular, that is why only one is assembled at the venue. The idea is to have these weekly comps, which will, in the long run, popularize Heyball, and of course, in the end of the day, not bad if it made business sense to the owner, who is also sponsoring these weekly comps with 8 players invited, and the top 2, the winner and second, getting the winner getting $100 and $50 respectively. Amos misses the 8 ball. Cesar can breathe again in frame number 5. Of course, his intention is to have Amos foul. Cesar lifting the cue ball, placing it anywhere he would want. It will be a good chance for him to finish the frame in his next visit of the table. Amos does find the black. Can he put it off the 4? Not really, but so that was a very lovely recovery. Cesar will want to start with the 4, having white ball bounce off 2 or 3 cushions. He uses 2 cushions. This one is an attempt by the Scorpion, with a foul or not, to try and finish the frame in his current visit of the table. The 6, the 2, the 1, the 3, the 4, and 7 are the balls left on the table. Starting with the 1, seems to be about to follow it up with the 2, as if trying to put the balls arithmetically. White ball bounces off the cushion to get good white ball for the 3, which is the red ball. He's following some numerical order from 1 to 2 to 3. That normally doesn't happen. Actually, did play the 4 first. The arithmetic order is lost, but that's not what is important. It is finishing the solids, and then the 8 ball. And as simple as that, he will be simply 1 frame down. 6 is one of the easier balls he will be potting. In the process, getting himself accurate white ball for the 3. The 7 is there for the taking, and just like that, you can say, even before the frame is finished, that Cesar is winning a second. This one needs just a little bit of spinning the white ball backwards, then it moves towards the top end of the table where the black is. Just like that. On the black, the 8 ball. Try and pull one back to try and put Amos under pressure. Yes, he does. Cesar 3, Amos 1. Sister to Benson, you are asking who won between Malova and Dog City. Oops, Malova and Dog City have played 2 money matches, both of which were played in Uganda last year. Malova winning the first and Dog City winning the second. Remember, Amos is on 1 foul break. 3 foul breaks in the same match tantamount to loss of rack, or what you call game down. The guy takes all the time simply to ensure that the rack is as tight as possible to give himself the best chance of at least not fouling on the break. It has to be 4 balls, either potted or crossing the head string. 1 crosses and the second, I think it is a foul. Those are 2 Cesar has opportunity either to play in the current position of the balls or to have the balls racked. Cesar can choose to break or to have Amos breaking. So Amos is listening to Cesar, which instructions is giving.
Cesar, those are two, eh? Second play.
Amos has just requested from Cesar that he gets a short call and then the frame resumes. So in less than a minute we shall be having Amos back and then the match shall proceed. Remember, second foul by Amos. Seems Cesar is deciding to play from the current position. He's keeping his opportunity because anytime it could be this frame, it could be the next frame. As long as Amos fouls, it will be a frame lost.
Or at least setting the FINAL-2
Just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we have an equalizer. A rest of 5 is now a rest to 2. 3 frames to go. Each of these guys needs 2 to make the final. whoever of them will not be winning, two will be proceeding home. The winner will be playing against Ibrahim Kayanja in the final that shall start about 5 minutes after this match. Speed at which they are playing is pretty much going according to plan. No, just a little bit slower because of their decision to rack the balls by freehand instead of using the racking equipment, the triangle. They believe that racking with the hand, as Cesar is doing, allows them to have the rack as tight as possible. Remember, the less space you have in between the balls, the more likely that they will be spreading. And remember, for Heyball, the break is the most important shot, because when you don't know how to break, you cannot even win a frame whatsoever. When you don't know how to break, you cannot even play at all, because you simply lose on the break, and that's it. The one thing that is really against Amos's favor is the fact that Cesar is having a 2-4 breaks from Amos still recurring in this match. So should Amos be breaking anytime in this match, and should it be a foul on the break, then it will be a loss of frame. And it's something that could be happening even if that frame were to come as a decider. There are so many shots that Cesar has been missing simply because of playing with too much power, having too much confidence in him being able to pot with power as he normally does on the small table. This one is a different ball game altogether. Amos on the solids. There is a 2, a 4, a 1, a 7, as well as a 6. Then the Cesar stripes have a 13, a 9, a 14, a 15, and the 11. The black, which is the 8 ball, is the ball closest to the bottom of your screen. Amos plays the 6 to be able to displace both the 12 and the 15. The 15 and the 14, I believe the shot was kind of successful, only that the 6 is right in front of the 15. Cesar responds by also displacing one of Amos's balls, the 2, away from the center pocket. Now the frame looks more difficult for both Amos and Cesar than it did about 1-2 minutes ago, because of the last 2 displacement shots that both of these players have just played. So far, by any stretch of imagination, the most entertaining match in the competition so far. This week we've missed Gideon. He was a good revelation in the tournament that happened last week. While he lost out in the semi-finals, he played like clearly one of the best Heyball players in the country. Amos just a little bit lucky to defeat him in the semi-final, but also Ibrahim Kanja a little bit lucky to defeat Amos in the final. Actually, the winner Ibrahim Kanja was more lucky. Cesar has an issue over 15, which is right in front of the 6, as if he's attempting combination shot. If he does, maybe he'll be good to go for clearance. On this big table, it is way harder to put balls compared to the small table. It will be the first combination we will be seeing. If it came through, he plays simply to foul, simply to do the shot that sometimes is called the needful, and him having played his own ball, Amos cannot lift the cue ball. Even if he were snookered, he has to play from the current position of the white ball. He took old foul, by the way. That was a quick a good recovery, as Cesar attempts to do exactly the same off the cushion to find the 15. This time it is a total snooker. Even the obvious angle is snookered from Cesar's shot. Amos now is playing off the cushion, but with big spin on the white ball. Will he find his ball? He finds Cesar's ball. it is a foul. And since he played his opponent's ball first, the opponent is free to lift the cue ball. He places it anywhere on the pool table, not just behind the head string, but anywhere on the green bed. This looks like Cesar taking the lead for the first time in the match. The 15 is done. 14 to the center pocket direct or off the 2, and then the 8 to the corner pocket close to the bottom of the screen on the right, and the frame is as good as gone. After 7 frames now, it is Cesar 4 and Amos 3. And please remember that Amos has 2 foul breaks recurring. If he fouls on the break, that will be the end of the match, because it will be a 3rd frame in the same match and it will be loss of rack. That's why this time he will try even harder to ensure that the rack is as tight as possible. By the way, there has to be 0 space in between any of the balls. When that happens, you hit them as if it is one ball, because each ball is touching the other, all the 15, and it gives you a very good chance of having a very good split of the balls. And for any neutral supporter, you will just want Amos at least to break well. If he's to lose the match, then he loses after having turns on the table with his opponent fighting for the match. By the way, he too, of the 3 frames he has won so far, one of them was won courtesy of 3 foul breaks by Cesar, the very first frame of the match. This shot, Amos is about to play either to keep him in the tournament or else to get out of the tournament. Immediately has to be big, hits the top ball. 3 balls have crossed. It looks like they are 4. Yes, they are 4. Cesar agrees. Amos survives. Even players with the potting ability of Cesar, many times they are finding it difficult to pot on this table. In terms of in relation to the size of the balls, which are very big by the way, the pockets are very narrow. And from your viewing area, just look at the 2 corner pockets on the top of your screen, on the left and the right. Yes, very clear how narrow these pockets are. Forget the ones which are closer to the camera angle. Those ones confuse you to think that these pockets are big. It is easier to put in the center pocket than the corner pockets. The guy playing the solids is trying to prove something here in a discipline where he is a continental ambassador to the company that manufactures the equipment on which the discipline is played. He's gotten himself snookered, wants to come off the cushion to find the 14. Yes, he finds the 14. But at least Amos has chance to play. So the 2 recurring shots for Amos on the break will matter no more, because after this frame, if Amos wins it, then we shall have a decider, which will be broken by Cesar. He's the one that won the lag, so it will not matter now. That's when it becomes a disadvantage, when your opponent fouled for the second time and then you let it pass. It may be inconsequential, like in the current situation we are in. Cesar had a chance to ask Amos to break again when he fouled for the second time. Then Cesar decided to break. He could have won that match without that frame without sweating if Amos had fouled for the third time in the same frame. And it's right now Amos is playing for a clearance of frame number 8 to try and equalize, try and take the last semi-final to a wire. He has a 6 and a 7. 6 gives him natural white ball for the 7. Why does he move the white ball all that distance? I wonder why. Oops, there is a 1 near the center pocket on the left. I hadn't seen it actually. So it looks a little bit tricky. He can pot, he can set the ball. He plays with very little power to try and pot. Yes, he does. He really understands Heyball. This guy, he really understands the dynamics of the sport. He also really understands to a very respectable level at the table. I don't want him to go for too much power like he's trying to contemplate. It is very difficult to pot with all that power. Very difficult and very unlikely. And probably that one may have been the very last shot for Amos in the tournament. As long as Cesar can roll the 14 in with the good white ball for the black to the center pocket on the left, that will be it for Amos. And the final will be between Cesar Chandiga and Ibrahim Kayanja. Yes, now there is a confirmation, because a shot like this Cesar will never ever miss, not when there is a chance to qualify for a final of a discipline in which he is the ambassador. He defeats Amos, whose tournament comes to an end, while Cesar marches on to the final to have a date with Ibrahim Kayanja. Final score: Cesar Chandiga 5 and Amos Ndiagumanawi 3.